yesterday the Victorian Government and the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation agreed to a 28.4% pay rise for nurses and midwives over the next 4 years. The agreement includes allowances for a change of ward and being on call. There is also a right to disconnect clause and a change to night shift penalties. The Victorian Premier, Jacinta Allan, told The Age, and I quote, this is absolutely backing in our nurses and midwives. They are the backbone of our health and hospital system. My question, therefore, to the Minister for Industrial Relations and Public Sector is, will the Malinauskas government match the Victorian pay rise for South Australian nurses and midwives? And if not, why not? And what is the government doing to ensure that our nurses don't simply pack up and move over to Victoria?
Call the Attorney-General.
I thank the honourable member for his question. In relation to will we immediately institute whatever the results of interstate jurisdictions, results of their enterprise bargaining into industrial instruments in South Australia after having gone through a bargaining process? The short answer is that no, we won't. And I'm not sure the honourable member would have expected much different from an answer in relation to that. What we will do, though, as I've said in this chamber a number of times before, is we will bargain in good faith with our public sector unions who represent employees in a whole range of areas, including the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation, who represent nurses in South Australia and around the country. I don't have the date in front of me. I think it was, my guess, sometime mid to late 2022 when the last industrial agreement was negotiated and signed with the union representing nurses in South Australia. Sometime in the next couple of years that will be up for renegotiation. But what I will say and can commit is, unlike the last government, we don't come to the table in bad faith with preconceived notions about what is or isn't on the table. We will come to the negotiating table in good faith and are happy to negotiate terms and conditions that are fair for nurses, also recognising the needs of South Australia.
Sims.
Given the government won't commit to matching Victoria's offer, is the minister concerned that these nurses and midwives are going to leave South Australia and move interstate where they can get a better offer?
Attorney.
The honourable member for his question. Certainly, and I don't have a jurisdictional comparison of the base that this is being taken from and pay rates and the exact matching for various conditions. And that is one element in where someone decides to work. A very, very important element is the quality of life you get while you're working as well. And I might be accused of being biased, but I think living in South Australia and Adelaide in particular affords you a quality of life that you can't find in many other places in this country.
Supplementary question. Mr. Sims, arising from the original answer.
In light of the government's failure to match the offer in Victoria and the significant crisis that is gripping our health
Mr. Sims,
system.
did you start with... I missed the first word, because if you haven't started with the question, you can't have a preamble.
Is it not the case, Mr. President, given the crisis that's befalling our health system and the fact that the government is not going to actually match the offer that's been put on the table over in Victoria, that people are going to simply move off interstate and cause further problems in our health system?
I'm happy.
Look, the Honourable Ben Hood will allow it to answer. If that's the case, then we better allow it.
Well, I thank the Honourable Ben Hood for allowing it. I think the honourable member is taking some liberties. He well knows that's not how the industrial relations system works. It doesn't happen when there's one agreement in one jurisdiction somewhere that it automatically becomes something that every jurisdiction then gets to. And I was going to suggest that if there was a parliament somewhere else around the world that paid more than here, would the honourable member immediately move to that parliament because it has had better wages? But then I remembered the honourable member has been in almost every form of government, every single form of government, including local government we have in this country, sir. So maybe he is working his way up in that respect. But I think what that does indicate is that it is certainly a factor, but there are a lot of other factors that determines where someone chooses to live, where someone chooses to raise their family, and I think South Australia has a lot of advantages in that respect.
You could follow Nicholas.